Back at it.
Yo.
What's going on, guys?
What's going on, y'all, man?
Happy day, happy evening, happy night, wherever you are.
What's going on, everybody?
Mic.
So, this one dropped, man, on Thomas Sowell's channel. It said, how leftists are blind to the realities of crime. I believe that. Because it's like, that don't exist. Because they so focused on particular topics, they just don't pay attention to what really matters.
Going on, yeah. I want to say it's one thing, but it really is something else.
Right.
Do higher rates of imprisonment reduce crime? Is crime a result of poverty, unemployment, and the like? Are alternatives to incarceration more effective in preventing criminals from repeating their crimes? Some people would hesitate to try to answer any of these questions before going through a lot of hard evidence and thinking it over very carefully. But many on the left can answer immediately, because they know what answers are already in vogue on the left, and that the only reason others don't accept those answers is because they are behind the times, or just hard-hearted people who want to punish. It is one thing to believe that policy A is better than policy B. It is something very different to believe that those who believe in policy A are wiser, more compassionate, and generally more worthy human beings than those who believe in policy B. Turning the empirical question of the results of policy A versus the results of policy B into the more personal question of a wonderful us versus a terrible them makes it harder to retreat if the facts do not bear out the belief. If the choice between policy A and policy B is regarded as a badge of personal merit, either morally or intellectually, then it is a devastating risk to one's sense of self to make empirical evidence the ultimate test. Not only in the United States, but in other countries as well, the political left has held steadfastly to its assumptions and beliefs about crime for at least 2 centuries, not only in the absence of hard evidence, but in defiance of 2 centuries' accumulation of evidence to the contrary from countries around the world. Where the dominance of the left is greatest, in the media and in academia, for example, facts to the contrary are seldom heard. The futility of imprisonment, for example, is a dogma on the left. It does no good to point out that crime rates in both Britain and the United States soared during the decade of the 1960s, when poverty rates were going down, and imprisonment rates were also going down. It does no good to point out that soaring crime rates in the United States began to turn down only after the declining rate of imprisonment was halted and reversed, leading to a rising prison population much deplored by liberals. It does no good to point out that Singapore's imprisonment rate is more than double that of Canada, and its crime rate less than 1/10 the Canadian crime rate. Many in the West were appalled to discover some years ago that an American first offender in Singapore was sentenced to corporal punishment.
Whoa.
Few of the indignant critics bothered to consider the possibility that this might be a way to prevent the young man from becoming a second offender, and perhaps saving him from a worse fate later on if he continued to disregard laws.
Wow.
Self-defense against criminals is anathema to the left in both Britain and the United States, but in Britain the left has greater predominance. Britons who have caught burglars in their homes and held them at gunpoint until the police arrived have found themselves charged with a crime, even when it was only a toy gun.
Now that is crazy.
No, I'm about to knock you down. So imagine if they held them, the person who's innocent, what if they would have shot him? You going to jail, and then their family sue you for shooting them for burglary? Well, y'all own some dope. You own dope.
Laws are... Come on now.
The prevailing view in the British criminal justice system that burglary is a minor offense, and the fierce hostility to guns, even toy guns, the homeowner is far more likely to end up behind bars than the burglar is.
That's stupid.
Wow.
The left's jihad against gun ownership by law-abiding citizens has produced a flood of distorted information. International comparisons almost invariably compare the United States with some country with stronger gun control laws and lower murder rates. But
Kennesaw,
if facts
Georgia,
really
Texas.
mattered, you could just as easily compare the United States to countries with stronger gun control laws and higher murder rates. Brazil and Russia, for example. You could compare the United States with countries with more widespread gun ownership, Switzerland and Israel, for example, and lower murder rates. But that's only if facts are regarded as more important than the dogmas of the left. Millions of crime victims pay the price of the left's illusions about crime and about themselves.
That's crazy how there are laws that will protect the criminal.
We have rights as criminals to break in your house and take your goods, and you do nothing. Just bringing them home so we can take them.
Wow.
Please. No, not in America.
I must, the leftists are blind to the realities, of crime. Why would, I don't know.
That's the goofiest thing in the world to me, to know that you hear somebody go in and you say, just let them do what they do, because we don't want to get locked up.
Please. But it was interesting how he said that in the countries that had greater gun control had higher crime.
But he's also said that a country can have greater gun control and lesser crime. So it depends. Like certain places, like I'm gonna say, I always think about Kennesaw for one. Kennesaw has low crime because it's a gun-toting city in Georgia.
Okay.
Their crime level is low. Look at Marietta.
I didn't hear him mention about.
No,
he said
I ain't say
Brazil
nothing. I said
and
nothing about
Russia.
I'm bringing this information up.
Oh, okay.
I'm saying is you got places that have lower. Look at Kennesaw, Georgia. Look at that city. Their crime rate is low compared to Marietta. Kennesaw's crime rate is like very low. That's like Corona.
Yeah, compared to
compared to LA.
Yeah.
So, but the left is blind, but there's no true say that you're going to do this and it's going to stop crime. That don't necessarily mean it's going to stop crime. You try to take the guns away, then
there are other weapons that people will use.
But you try to take the guns away,
rather.
the criminals are the ones that's going to get access to them, and then now you really in like a fishing.
Yeah,
they're the ones that going to get access to them, and you sitting ducks without when they have it and you don't.
No, I need my right to bear arms all day.
So yeah, the left is delusional, man. They focus. We just take away all the guns, think it'll be better. Oh, I don't think so.
Well, absolutely not. That's not going to happen. That definitely is not going to happen.
I don't think so. Anyway, man, that was how leftists are blind to the realities of crime. Yeah, they are. Man, tell me what y'all think of that, man. Section below.
If you want some more.
That's right.
All right, guys. Love you. See you in the next video. Thank you for your support, and join us for our live on Friday at 6:30 Pacific. That's our time.
All right.